Hey, shout out to my one and only subscriber. This could be the worst YouTube channel ever, I'm proud to say. Today I'm going to treat you to something special. My Univox Halloween headstock, all black Strat copy that cost me all of about, as my friend said, I think you paid more for the tuner replacements than the guitar. And the tuners are probably worth more than the guitar. And that's cool by me. I love that. Anyways, I want to talk about the tritone. I want to talk about polychords, and I want to talk specifically how you can apply that to the 5 chord. And I want to show an example that I discovered years ago in an awesome book that I recommend for anybody: guitar, bass, horn. I think it's actually written for horn players, and it's called Patterns in Jazz by, I think it's Joe Cocker, and I'll put it in my notes where it is, but I highly recommend it for people. You know, they call it Patterns in Jazz, but it's I don't like that word, jazz. This is my dog. Hey B, say hi. He's wondering what's going on. It's not a jazz book. It's a music book, and it's filled with great ideas, and it's really helpful in opening your mind to, like, you know, different ways of like constructing melodic lines. And the name is unfortunate in my opinion. I think it should just be called like you know, patterns. Musical patterns, melodic patterns explored, you know. But anyways, I'm gonna show you something today, and I want to talk specifically about a section in there a chapter about polychords. And basically, all a polychord is poly means multiple, and well, multiple chords. And the idea is how to play patterns that express more than one chord, that they're sort of like superimposed together. So imagine, so the example I want to show you today fits really well with this, because I talked a little bit about the 5 chord and how the 5 chord has this substitution you can apply, and it's called the tritone substitution. And the idea is that if I'm playing in G major and I want to just resolve to the 1, typical 5-1 progression, that the tritone substitution says, or idea says, that you can create that same tension by playing the 5 chord, but use its tritone substitute, which is always a tritone away, that devil's interval. How awesome is that? That you can use that to achieve the same effect, it has the same tension function and wants to resolve. It's unstable. So if we take that and then say, okay, well, how could we play those two chords sort of simultaneously, and in a linear way? And by that I mean, I don't want to try to like grip those 2 chords together, although I'm sure there's ways to do that. I want to show you like a linear approach to playing that, okay? So the linear way I would approach that, I'm just going to adjust my camera here. If I'm playing a simple 5-1 progression, I would do something really simple like right? That's I just played the 5, right? I know that sounds really simple and boring, but I'm trying to express I want to do this in a linear way. Now, what I want to be able to say is, how could I do this? How could I play that 5 chord and its substitution and still get to the 1? So I could simply go, just play the triads, okay? It has this chordal sound of, right? So that's what I want to do, is I want to blend those two, that tritone substitution together in a pattern that sounds unified. So I did a short video on essential triad patterns, and you should check that out, because I use that. And in this Coker example from Patterns in Jazz, he uses inversions to kind of voice lead his way through this pattern. And I'm going to play that pattern for you really quick. I'm just going to play the ascending because I haven't played it in a while, and I'm rusty, and guitar is not my first instrument, so let me show you what that pattern looks like from that book, and it's cool as hell. I'm going to play it right off the tritone. You could start it off the 5. I'm going to start it off its tritone. You know what else? Yeah, let's do that. My dog really wants to be in this video. Hey? Okay, buddy. Give me some space here. That's cool. All right. Check this out. That's those two mixed together. And I'm basically playing, in this case, the 5 chord, just the triad. And I'm playing its substitute, and I'm using those, and I'm just playing inversions and sort of like ascending, and there's a descending pattern as well. But you can hear how sort of like how complex that becomes, how interesting that line becomes, especially like in a linear approach, you know. So basically all I've done, I'm just going to break that pattern down for you really quick. Let me resolve it first. Right? I just played a few shapes, but basically I'm just cramming together triads and different inversions of those two chords, and then resolving it to the one. So here's how that Coker polychord, you know, you basically end up getting this 5 chord quality, and I'll break it down for you. So you'd play a major, so I'm going to start on the G sharp here, which is the root of the tritone of that 5, okay? So this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to play that triad first. Really simple vanilla triad. And now what I want to do is play the D triad. Okay? But instead of just playing, sorry, I want to play its second inversion. Why? Well, because it's a half step up from where I started. It's just a way of approaching it that sounds less like a musical exercise, you know, more musical. So that's all I've done here. So if you look at that first shape, it's triad 1, and then I'm going to play this triad, but I'm going to start on its 5, and then I'm going to go play the first triad again, but I'm going to start on its 3, and then I'm going to play D again, right? And then I'm going to play G sharp again, its second inversion, and then I'm going to play D again, its first inversion, and then I'm going to play G sharp again, and so on and so on. You can see that I'm really just overlaying different inversions and an upward movement of those two chords together, and you end up with this really cool. You'll have to forgive my playing. Like I said, I'm not a guitar player. You could go up and up and up, but eventually you want to, you know, taper that off and use it to resolve, hopefully, to something. So it might be like you end up getting this kind of, but these end up kind of mixing together. You don't have to. Anyways, I'll put some links in there. I'm sure that was horribly confusing, but just to bring it back and recap, basically, the idea of polychords and playing in a polychordal way, in a linear manner, is to basically superimpose two different chords, play them together as if they are one, and you end up getting these. I mean, if I was to analyze what am I getting when I combine all those notes, I find that I get a, if we're playing a 5 chord, you know, we're getting a 1, a 3, and a 5, but then we're getting a flat 5, or I guess it would be a augmented 4, a 7, and a flat 9. So you're kind of like that polychord, when blended together, sort of yields like a, basically a D7 augmented 4 flat 9, and it sounds like this. And it's cool. It's out there, and there's all kinds of different ones. You could do polychords with other shapes, and a lot of polychords are written where you take like a triad and then you shift it up a minor third and blend those two triads together. There's endless possibilities. You know, take a triad and blend it with a triad a half step above or below. Like, experiment with this stuff. It's cool. Like, you're gonna get some new sounds, and you're just using simple shapes, which have, the reason why I guess I'm harping on the triad is because the triad is such an easy, recognizable, it's such a recognizable sound, no matter how you invert it. It's a very familiar sound to our ears, and as soon as you start like taking that shape and applying it in ways the ear isn't normally used to, it's got some powerful effects, and I think that's super cool, you know. Anyways, I know probably didn't execute that in the best way, but hopefully the concept came across. Check out that Joe Cocker book, Patterns in Jazz. It was written in the 60s, and it's got some wicked ideas in it. So anyways, yeah, if that was interesting, great. If you hated that, I'd love to hear like some comments. I find that fully entertaining when people criticize. It's good. Any engagement is better than none. Okay, cool. Enjoy. Have a happy Friday, and stay cool.